you have Drake calling you a horrible parent, you messed up. A Pinocchio looking nose right here. Like this, I could land a plane on this strip. Your whole platform is this weird, dry, comedic roast, and when it gets thrown back in your face, you want to cry like a baby? It's gonna sound shocking, guys, but if you want to be a good interviewer, maybe you should have a somewhat of a decent knowledge of the people that you're going to talk about. But that's just my hot take. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. I am a React content creator. I like to make React content to different basketball creators and modern NBA in general. So if basketball insight is your thing, I'm the guy for you. I also like to make React content to YouTube, TikTok, brain rot. So if you like brain rot and someone talking about it, I'm the guy for you. So with that being said, today we're going to be reacting to Internet Anarchist, the satisfying downfall of Bobbi Althoff. I talked about Bobbi Althoff before. I believe it was a Jamari video. And one thing I will say, it's one of my most disliked videos. People did not like what I had to say about Bobbi. Funny enough, it's one of my most viewed videos at the very same time. But to recap how I feel about Bobbi, I feel like she's someone that just does not care. She had an opportunity to be big and she did not care about putting any effort into the craft that she decided to form. At the end of the day, when it comes to being a content creator, I'm not going to sit here and act like I am some huge, big, giant hard worker. Listen, I'm trying to lose some weight, but I'm a fat boy, okay? By the way, guys, 3 pounds. 3 pounds. I lost 4 pounds. I lost 3 more, so we're on a grind. But nonetheless, y'all, it's not like I'm sitting here acting like I'm the hardest worker in the world. I mean, I make React content. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to put as much emotion into shit that I'm doing. And I'm trying to put as much passion to the shit I'm doing. Also, if I'm going to react to something, you're going to know what I'm talking about. But enough yapping, right? Oh, I'm going to know what I'm talking about is what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to react to something that I don't care for, which is what she did. Enough yapping from me, though, okay? Let's start the video. I can yap some more later. Full screen it. 1.25 speed, and let's get this shit started.
Largely unknown creator suddenly attains fame, connections, and an audience in a niche where they have zero experience. Do they A, get labeled as an industry plant?
Well, you do feel kind of planty. We do have the same manager, so is this
I know, isn't that crazy?
It feels a bit planty.
This is definitely planty.
You got here in 5 minutes. It took me 20 years.
Hey, it has been a minute.
B, abandon their family and alienate fans in pursuit of more success.
You missed your daughter's first birthday.
To be here.
Dark. Regret that you'll never be able to undo.
Yeah.
Horrible parenting.
Or C,
Listen, let me tell you something. If you have Drake calling you a horrible parent, you messed up.
totally ruin their reputation and lose 80% of their audience. Unfortunately for Bobbi Althoff, it was all three, as her transition from mummy TikToker to podcast sensation came with a whole new world of responsibilities and demands that she wasn't prepared to handle. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be delving deep into the meteoric rise and fall of podcasting's favorite industry plant, Bobbi Althoff, how she rapidly rose to the upper echelons of the podcasting world, what she did to turn her entire audience against her, and why, despite the success, her career is slowly fading towards irrelevancy. Before becoming a podcast host, Bobbi's social media persona was geared towards making funny family and parenting content with her husband on TikTok.
I don't care what anyone says, there is nothing more embarrassing than walking around with one of these. Everyone knows how it got there. They know what you did. Your gardener, your mailman, your dad, your grandpa, your uncles, your brothers, your trash truck driver, the cashier at the grocery store. They all know it.
Bobbi's parenting TikTok era lasted from 2021 to 2023 and showcased three core aspects of her approach to creating content that would both help and harm her career in the future. 1. A thirst for virality. 2. A reliance on dry but witty humor to engage fans.
I thought it would be a fun idea to talk about our marriage. My husband sleeps downstairs and I sleep upstairs where the children sleep, and I take care of them all night long, so I'm generally pretty tired. So he does all of the cleaning and he does an amazing job at it. So yeah, that's probably enough about our marriage. Do you think you could go downstairs and get me coffee?
While Bobbi's mummy videos weren't anything groundbreaking, her consistency and uniquely awkward personality drew viewers in and allowed her to garner over 3 million followers on TikTok. With that being said, Bobbi's success in the parenting niche was only a passing phase, as she soon set her sights on something of much more mainstream appeal. By April 2023, Bobbi released the first episode of the Really Good podcast, which featured Colleen Ballinger as a guest.
So you're rich.
Excuse me?
That's why I have you here today. You're rich.
You reached out to me, and I'm excited to be here.
So you reached out to me. We don't have to get into the details about it. I know you're a little bit maybe embarrassed.
I'm also clinically depressed.
I'm depressed too, but I'm not on medication.
Okay. To each his own.
Yeah.
Or her own.
I don't like hating on people. This is random as hell. She got a Pinocchio looking nose right here. Like this, I could land a plane on this strip. What is happening?
Their own. You're depressed, you're rich, and according to the internet, you're a little funny. Yeah, let's not laugh too much.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, and we shouldn't laugh about depression.
I wasn't laughing about depression.
Yeah, you were.
Excuse me.
Please stop that. Are you serious right now?
A lot of tears that happen.
Do you post those on social media for views, though?
I would disagree with that.
Do you want people to see you crying? Is that so they can feel emotional about what's going on, and they'll be like, I'm not going to hate her because she has feelings?
See, the problem with Bobbi Althoff is she's doing this really dry, this really, like, quick humor. This really, like, oh, I'm going to make you guys laugh with these one-offs that are kind of like, you know, not making that much sense, but they're funny at the same time. It's getting you guys to laugh at me. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I can be witty. It's just witty banter back and forth with the person I'm talking to. But this witty banter can only work for so much. She tried it with every single guest, and it's probably going to be brought up, right? Kind of said it a little bit in the beginning. But her biggest issue is she tried it with every guest, but she never looked into any of the guests that came onto her podcast. And that can work sometimes. It can. Really witty banter with somebody you have. It can work with like a comedian, or it can work with someone that, you know, people may have a following with, but they mostly follow that person to laugh. But when you have like people on your platform who are like rappers, or people on your platform that have like large followings themselves, that people would like to know more information from the person you're talking to, they probably want more than just some witty banter, back and forth, dry jokes. They want you to actually ask them questions that they probably are wondering themselves for years as fans. And instead of you actually being a good podcaster, asking questions, or even going back and forth with stories, it's this witty, dry humor that works on TikTok, and it works for clips. It's funny. It doesn't work as long form content, because at some point people are going to get, what am I looking for? Burnt out. I couldn't even think of the word. Brain cells are going out of my skull because of this shit. But they're going to get burnt out because you're just giving them slop over and over and over again. Like, hey, I like a sloppy Joe. I love a sloppy Joe. But if you give me a sloppy Joe Monday through Friday, at some point I'm throwing it back in your face, okay? You can give me a sloppy Joe every now and then, but don't be serving me that shit all the time. And that's what happened. This was funny at first. This was okay at first. But when you try to say this is my entire platform, people are going to get bored.
Well, that would be manipulative.
I don't think that's manipulative.
To me, that sounds manipulative.
I think that you should go back to school.
Even though the interview was later taken down, it demonstrated how entertaining Bobbi's dry humor could be, and highlighted her unusual ability to get notable celebrities on her podcast, something that would eventually become a massive source of speculation, skepticism, and success for her channel. Nowhere was this more apparent than with Bobbi's interview with the comedian Funny Marco, which racked up over 5 million views and spawned dozens of viral clips across social media.
You like tennis?
No.
Why not?
Because, have you ever played?
Yeah,
It's really hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
Yeah.
So tennis is a relationship sport. And you're in a relationship. Do you feel like you're a good partner?
No.
Oh. Okay, didn't expect you to say that.
Things would only get better for Bobbi, as she leveraged the popularity of her previous interview to get Drake on her next episode.
Do you think I'm bad at rapping?
I've never
What's
heard
your favorite? What? You've never heard? What?
Maybe on the radio, your music.
What?
Any of your music.
Okay, so do like you've never heard? You were gonna say you've never
Any
heard
of your
a Drake
music?
song?
No.
Ever?
Not that I can think
Never
of.
heard a Drake song.
Can you sing one?
No, but like I'm just asking you, like, are you gonna be one of like those people who's like I've never heard you before?
Not that I would recognize. Like, oh, that's
What?
Drake.
Bobbi's dismissive approach
What's funny is Drake's ego's so big, I don't know if he's being serious or joking. He's obviously joking. But goddamn. But again, funny, witty, dry humor, it only works so much. Like at some point you gotta actually start asking questions, because people again gonna get bored of that shit. Like, interview your guest. Funny Marco, that's fair. His name is Funny Marco. He's supposed to be funny. But at some point, you got Drake on your goddamn podcast. Why don't you ask Drake some questions, okay? Make it interesting. This is just boring.
interviewing Drake immediately struck a chord with fans, as I'd never seen such an acclaimed artist put into such an awkward situation. This translated into the video receiving around 10 million views and attracting over 500,000 new subscribers. An interview of this caliber not only exposed Bobbi to a broader audience, but gave her what was essentially a free pass to get any other artist in the industry on her podcast. However, the interview wasn't all positive for Bobbi. Eagle-eyed viewers would notice a highly flirtatious side of Bobbi's personality that wanted something more from her guests despite being married.
Am I your type?
I'd do it.
Thank you.
I'd do it is crazy work. That's crazy. Am I your type? I'd do it. Being labeled an it. That's, man, I don't know. Compliment, I guess. That's crazy.
I'd do it.
I'd do it.
There's you.
Not an it.
I know. I just meant like.
Don't lie to me. Don't lie to the people watching this. And don't spill water on my couch.
Combine this with the fact that Bobbi skipped her daughter's birthday to interview Drake only degrades her reputation further.
You did. I really do appreciate
On my daughter's
that.
first birthday.
I wasn't gonna bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
You missed your daughter's first birthday for
To
this.
be here.
Dark.
See, I'm not gonna say I trust Internet Anarchist because I don't know him as a person, right? But as far as like watching, because if you guys are on my channel or if you're new to my channel, I watched a few of his videos. I went and fact checked a couple times in the past. He's been pretty good as far as like, I don't know if you would call this journalism or what you would call this, but forming these like documentary type videos, he's good at gathering information. And one thing I will say is if you're telling me that this is not just a joke, she's being like dead ass, and that's what he's saying, is that, you know, she's trying to make it a dry joke, but she's serious about missing her daughter's first birthday. That's fucked. That is really fucked. Okay? That just shows that you're clout hungry, and here's why. Because you didn't miss your daughter's first birthday because you're like, I'm going to do an interview with Drake. I'm going to ask him a bunch of questions. I'm going to try to blow up my platform. She did blow up her platform. That is true. But she admitted to this later on. And again, it might be brought up here when we watched a video on her before. She admitted that she did not care to do any research on anyone she was talking to. When she said she doesn't know Drake songs, that part's not a joke. Okay, she may have heard a Drake song on the radio or two. Like, that is true. Like, we're not gonna sit here and exaggerate, like, she didn't know a Drake song. But it's the fact that she did no research on him. Did not care to do any research on him as an artist, the history of Drake. And that's every guess she had moving forward. She admitted that. She admitted that in a serious interview with, like, I think it was a journalist. I forgot with what publication. But she actually sat down with a journalist and admitted, like, yeah, I did no research. I just kind of walked in and, talked to them. Do you do research? And the journalist was like, yeah, that's how I'm asking you these questions. It's like, what?
Regret that you'll never be able to undo.
Yeah.
Horrible parenting.
Where's your son?
Somewhere safe, and it's not his birthday.
Even though the Drake interview was a step forward for Bobbi's career, it would unfortunately set her back leaps and bounds in other crucial areas of her life. Around the same time Bobbi was having a 1 in a million interview in Drake's bed, her husband was finalizing their divorce. According to today's article, Bobbi Althoff had begun the divorce proceedings back in February and had indicated, quote, irreconcilable differences as the reason for their separation. While there wasn't any bad blood between the couple, it didn't stop people from speculating that Drake's interview had something to do with it, as rumors about the two having a romantic connection spread like wildfire. While Bobbi would deny these rumors, there was still questions about how she got the interview and why she was signed up to the same talent agency as Drake. During an interview on the BFFs podcast, Bobbi claimed that she contacted Drake after he engaged with her viral posts.
But yeah, then Drake liked one of the videos I had uploaded and he followed me. I didn't realize it at first. Marco called me and he was like, Bobbi, look who just followed you. So I filtered it to verified only people. And I was like, oh my God, like why would he follow me? He's like, he liked the video. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna shoot my shot to Drake. I don't know how this, I thought the chance of him replying was like a 1% and the chance of him saying yes was like 0.000. I was like, there's no way. So I was like, come on my podcast. I said, when are you going to come on my podcast?
And he just was
he said,
game
yeah,
right away.
He was ready to do it. I flew out there I think 3 days later.
Wow.
And then you're off the races. Now you can kind of get anybody you want.
Yeah.
Reaching out to Drake this way seems like a plausible explanation for why a big-name celebrity who hardly does interviews would drop everything to be on an upcoming podcast. But it didn't explain why Bobbi was signed to the same.
Okay, this is rant. By the way, if you guys are new to my channel, sometimes I put out random stuff. Sometimes, like I did before, I'll sit here and actually talk about the video and my thoughts on it. But I got ADHD, so things like this bother me. Listen, why is this water set up this way? I don't like this shit. How do you know whose water is whose? What if I pick up this water, and you pick up this water, and I go to put the water down, and you put your water here? How the fuck am I supposed to know whose water is who unless I'm constantly paying attention and not looking at you? Or you pick up a water, and you move my water. I don't like this water setup. This is stupid. It should be different color-coded waters, or the water should be separated and spaced out. This is shit. This is shit. Okay, let's continue.
same talent agency as him.
I posted the thing. I got a message from Andrew at WME. He says, like, I'm part of the touring team. Can we talk? I said, okay, because I had I didn't know what I was doing. They signed with me that night, and then
So you just didn't meet with anybody else? You're just like, this guy hit you from
First person. Boom,
well,
signed.
I knew I knew a lot. Drake is signed by WME.
Yeah,
right?
they're huge.
Yeah, I was like,
But there's a lot of huge
massive
people
yeah,
out there.
but I was like, they're like reputable, and I need help now. So
Right.
I'm not like They sounded great. They sounded like they knew what they were doing. They jumped in. I had that day. I had a team of 15 people.
So
helping me.
you signed with them after Drake?
Yeah.
Because the plant theory
I know, is that they helped me get him.
William Moore signed you.
Yeah,
and
I know. I
then
hate that. They're taking credit for my
Yeah, they're
my
well.
DM.
You did it, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's not. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I did all of the hard parts, and then now I have help. But I did all of the getting there.
Bobbi signing with WME after securing the Drake interview implies that they saw her as a viable long-term investment solely because Drake was interested in her. Also, the information about her meeting Drake wasn't public knowledge until after she signed with WME, which means WME had to be informed about Drake's interview with Bobbi by someone on the inside. Whether that was Drake or someone else is unclear, but the way Bobbi tries to play the situation off as a coincidence seems disingenuous at best and deliberately misleading at worst. Either way, the connection between the two wouldn't last long. On the 14th of August 2023, Bobbi's dream interview was taken down, and the pair unfollowed each other on social media. Even though Bobbi didn't directly address the abrupt change, she did release a video with her unamused expression at Drake's concert. This quiet feud would reignite rumors about Drake being intimate with Bobbi and lead people to speculate on if there had been some disagreement between the two. To finally put the rumors to rest, Bobbi would share an uncensored DM with Dave Portnoy that read, "My girlfriend said you slept with Drake and are getting a divorce. I am saying that is not true." To which Bobbi would reply, "I'm not commenting on it publicly, but off the record, you're right. That is not true." While Bobbi no longer had access to her most viral interview,
Okay, so I will say, if she's saying it's not true, I can only go off of her words. I don't like to be the person, even if I don't like somebody, to be like, well, no, unless I have evidence to the contrary. You guys get what I'm saying? If I got evidence to the contrary, I have no problem being like, okay, I know you're saying this isn't true, but we got actual evidence to prove that you're a fucking liar. And I'm not talking about he said, she said, guys. It's not fucking evidence, okay? That's hearsay. There's a difference between hearsay and first person accounts, and even first person accounts isn't evidence, but this is a law stream, so we're not going to get into that. The point is, we have no evidence, we have a bunch of rumors and a bunch of hearsay. The only thing we have is her saying in a private DM, off the record, that is not true. So why the podcast got taken down, why they unfollow each other, I don't know. It could be a bevy of things. It could be the fact that this rumor was spreading like wildfire, and the rumor alone could have caused the divorce. You know, you have someone who, because she could be a little untrustworthy and maybe she cheated in the past. Maybe she didn't sleep with Drake at all. Bunch of rumors are swirling. And the husband, maybe he doesn't trust his wife. And if you don't trust if I didn't trust my wife, we wouldn't be together. So maybe he didn't trust his wife. Didn't know whether or not he can believe her, and divorce happened. Who knows? Then she took the podcast down to kind of please him, or took the podcast down because it was upsetting to her, and unfollowed him because it was upsetting to her. Maybe. All I know is that if she's saying it didn't happen, then I guess it didn't happen. But I do think it's weird that they unfollowed each other. It could just be one of those things. If you're going to make your shit on the internet, sometimes the shit's going to be rough, and people are going to make up shit about you, and it's going to be hard. So that is a little sad. I will say that is a little sad. I don't think she kind of deserves all that. That's my little leeway for the Bobbi Althoff fans that came and disliked my last video, because I know I was hating a little bit on her. But the leeway I will give her here, because this has nothing to do with her career. This has nothing to do with her not having passion for the career path she has. I wonder if he'll talk about that. If he doesn't, I will rant about that at the end. But this is strictly, look, if she took the video down because she was just going through it, people kept speculating she was sleeping with him, and she wasn't, and unfollowed him because she was just tired of the speculation. Maybe it caused a divorce, maybe it didn't, and she was just tired of it. Then I do feel bad. That is a sad thing to go through, especially if it's rumor after rumor that you haven't done something, but everybody feels like you have.
she still had the interviewing style that made it unique and doubled down on it in subsequent podcast episodes. However, it wouldn't produce the outcome Bobbi expected.
You need a little bit of seasoning. You ain't got no seasoning, man. You like a plain piece of chicken, just on the thing, you pull it off, and then you serve the dish. You need some motherfucking seasoning, man. Damn, I'm trying to get you to play. You lost in the sauce. You ain't shaking my hand. We finna get you to 25 million. You know what I'm saying? Just a little sprinkle.
Have a great day offset.
Just a little seasoning.
All right, you can leave now.
And this is, all right, Bobbi Althoff fans. You heard me say I feel a little, and I'm not taking that away, by the way. Just because someone could be a little bit of a, not even a little bit, this is a lot. Just because someone could be a dickhead doesn't mean I feel like they deserve like a bunch of hate or deserved for their marriage to be put in speculation or rumors made up about them. But that out the way. Now we back on the hate train. Choo choo, baby. Hate train's leaving the station. One passenger. She is the type to have dry humor. Your whole part of your podcast is dry humor. Your whole part of your podcast is making people uncomfortable, saying things that make people uncomfortable, saying wild shit to make people laugh, audience-wise, and making your guest have to come up with to say on the spot. And he cracked a very mild, you need some seasoning joke at you. And you're done? You're done? That's it? That's all it took? Now you're done. And you're angry? You're actually mad? She's kicking him off. You're mad? He cracked a joke back at you. If anything, you should lean into that. If you want to make this your whole content thing where you're just going to be weird and dry, lean into it. Instead, you kick him out? Oh my God.
This is my hotel. I pay for this motherfucker. You can leave now. See how that work?
In previous episodes, Bobbi was always in control, as she made guests uncomfortable with her unfazed attitude. But this wasn't the case with Offset's interview. Throughout their time together, Offset reciprocated Bobbi's uninterested demeanor and took every opportunity to roast her.
I'm an artist.
Okay.
What do you do? That's the question.
I interview people
Why?
because I want to get to know them.
Why do you want to get to know me?
I didn't.
Yeah, it's, you don't even interview people. You say nothing. You get people on your podcast, you let your dry humor run it, and then you call that an interview? That's not an interview. At the very least, it's a terrible comedic video. At the very best, not the very least. At the very best, it's a terrible comedic video. Like, it's not an interview, though. This isn't an interview. You're not asking him shit. That's the reason he's roasting you. Why don't you ask him about his albums? Why don't you ask him about his time on the Migos? Or do they really still talk? And how did he feel about, which Migo died? I'm not saying that facetiously. I just don't know. One of them died. But how do you feel about one of his, would you say bandmates? You want your rap band? Rap band? Would you say it's a rap band? Listen, I don't know if you call that you call it a rap group. Like D12's a rap group, right? Slaughterhouse rap group, Griselda rap group, Migos rap group. I guess you would say group. You don't really want to use band, yeah. I guess. Hey, how does it feel? You know, being part of a rap group. How does it feel that one of your homeboys passed away tragically? Do you want to talk about that? Do you want to talk your feelings? So, there's so many questions you can ask this man. You don't ask him anything, and then you get mad when he roasts you. I don't know what to tell you.
You did.
Your team reached out to mine.
Don't cap. Let's not cap about that. That's not flex for the gram. Uh-oh. CAP. Cap.
What was that? Are you trying to make a song right now?
No, it was cap.
Okay. Wasn't.
You should try to make a song.
I honestly don't know how this came about. I'm not going to lie to you.
Me either.
Okay. Well, my team could have reached out to yours. I'm not going to. I don't want to make you look bad.
They had to show me who Bobby was. I thought they were talking about Bobby Boucher.
Yeah, they had to show me who else
The water,
that was.
the water boy, because you like water, so it matched.
Yeah.
It matched a little bit.
I think she's actually getting upset. I think she's actually getting mad. Because it's like witty banter. You let them finish, and then you jump in with your little roast, and then they jump back. But this is like interrupting, you know? There's a difference between me saying, bro, your shot is so weak. Your shot is so weak. I thought I was playing against a child. And then they go, bro, your defense is so weak. I thought I was playing against Luka. But Luka been having some clamps lately, but that's besides the point. And you guys just kind of going back and forth. But if I say, bro, your shot is so weak that I thought, bro, you're like, you see what I'm saying? If you're interrupting midway through, it feels like this is actually getting to you. Doesn't seem like witty banter anymore. Seems like you're actually upset, which is kind of crazy because this is your whole goddamn platform. This is what you do. This is what you do. Your whole platform is this weird, dry, comedic roast, and when it gets thrown back in your face, you want to cry like a baby? What?
Never heard of Offset.
The water? Yes, you have.
I have not. I Googled
Damn.
you on the way here, and I read something about you.
I had to go on TikTok. I couldn't even Google you.
Clips from the interview would go viral across social media as users finally got to see Bobbi get a taste of her own medicine, with comments reading, "This is probably the most challenging interview for Bobbi so far. This was hilarious, the worst job by the interviewer and the best job by a guest," as well as, "Watching Offset annoy her to her core as she does everyone she interviews was the happiest moment I've had in a while. Bro was shitting on her the whole interview." This was a clear sign that fans were tired of Bobbi's interviewing style, of demeaning or putting guests down. After all, no one wants to see their favorite celebrity get insulted for an hour straight. Unfortunately, Bobbi realized this fact a little too late. By the start of 2024, fans were leaving her channel in droves, as Bobbi went from getting millions of views a month to barely scratching 1 million. The worst part about it was that the few who stayed were looking for any reason to hate Bobbi and her podcast. From people roasting her in the comments for being a talentless host, to labeling her as an industry plant. The novelty of Bobbi's stuck-up persona had worn off, and the internet wouldn't put her on a pedestal anymore.
You're not an industry plant, right?
I am, but
So wait, what is an industry plant to you?
I mean, I don't truly know.
What is
I
that?
feel like it means I don't know. I mean, the industry is helping
you
you. I don't know where. I know I applied and they were
So I guess
yeah.
what I think is an industry plant is, what I think industry plant is, it's like somebody that has been that is tied to someone else in the industry and uses those connections to capitalize, and they have zero talent.
That makes more sense than what I thought it was. So. I was like,
what did you think?
I don't know, the industry comes in and is like, hey, we pick you, you're gonna be the next. I don't know. Yeah. I don't have any ties though, so I would love to have had ties. I feel like my life would have been a lot easier if I had ties. Don't have any.
Girl, my life would have been a lot easier if I had ties. You had a platform with millions of subscribers making baby content. Shit blows up. People like baby content. It is what it is. People love baby content. And you're going to turn around and really be like, man, my life was hard. If I had the connections, my life would be so much easier. I mean, I got an interview with a comedian, my first interview ever. Well, first, a YouTuber, a big one, then a comedian, and then Drake. Man, but if I had those connections, I could have gotten God. What are you... What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you yapping about? You got Drake on your podcast. What do you mean? I'm not saying you do or don't have connections. I'm just saying, you're crying about not having them because your life would have been easier? You got Drake on your podcast. Love Drake or hate Drake? It's Drake. You got him on your podcast and you're going to tell me you need connections? Okay.
Any ties.
Yeah.
Just have
well, you do feel kind of planty. We do have the same manager, so is this
I know,
of
isn't that
planted?
crazy?
It feels a bit planty.
This is definitely
you got here in 5 minutes. It took me 20 years.
Hey, it has been a minute.
At this point, users saw Bobbi's personality as less of a cute gimmick and more of a shallow persona fixated on manufacturing viral moments by being off-putting. You'd think this would be the height of the negativity towards Bobbi, but you'd be wrong, as she was about to give the audience a real reason to hate her. On the 23rd of July 2024, Funny Marco published a video titled, "Why Did Me and Bobbi Cancel Our Tour?", which detailed a career falling out between him and Bobbi, as well as a whole host of creative differences that made it impossible for the two to work together.
I did stand up before, and I'm still doing it, so I understand. I'm learning how to entertain a crowd, and it's not the same thing that you get on Instagram. This is real life where people are going to look and they want the energy and they want the feeling. And I feel like Bobbi was stiff a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, hey man, let's really, really work on this. And I paid script writers, let's really get them a show. And where she told me, that's not me. Bobbi was like, my comedy is me not talking a lot. And I'm like, shit, this is different. You can do that on the podcast, but in real life, this is different. So her comedy was different from what she said, from what she wanted to bring to the show, which I can...
No, respect to Funny Marco for not calling her out. Because Funny Marco's a big guy. He doesn't want to be... You don't want to... Especially when you got a large platform, you don't want to be a person that... Even though the other person may have done you wrong, or even though the other person the creative differences was frustrating to you and upset you, you don't want to come across rude or brash, because then other people may be hesitant to work with you. So I get that he can't say this. But guess what? I got 127 subscribers, and I love all of them. All of them. I'm slowly moving up. I real quick, I do think it's kind of crazy to say I have 127 subscribers. It feels cool. It feels like I might be able to build a platform here. And it feels nice, And I'm going to try to. I'm going to try to make y'all some different content, gaming, basketball, outdoor, vlogging, reacts. I'm trying to do it all. And I'm going to make sure it's quality. But I just, yeah, it just feels weird because when I had like 10 subscribers and I was sitting there for like a month on 10 subscribers, I didn't think I was going to ever hit 20 or 30 or 40, let alone 100. And I just feel myself slowly moving up. So it feels good. So to everybody that's following me, thank you. To everybody that subscribed to me, thank you. But other than that, back to what I was saying. I'm going to say what he's probably too, like, not scared. I don't want to call him scared. Just, you know, you want to be respectful in the industry. You don't want to scare away opportunities. Something that's too respectful to say. Bobbi's a lazy ass. Point blank, period. Bobbi's lazy as fuck. That's what happens here. Because she was told, I can make you a script. We can get some shit going. We can have an actual show. You're just going to have to put in some work. And she responded with, I don't want to put in work, though. That means I have to do stuff. I have to do stuff. And I have to do stuff, then I don't want to do it. My comedy is not talking. It's like, but you have to talk. Well, then I don't want to do it. It's like, okay, so you're lazy. You're lazy. You don't even want to, like, actually put in some effort into this shit. You don't want to put in any effort. You just want to sit there, make some dry jokes, and call it a day? Okay. Then, yeah, I'm sorry, we can't work together. And that's what happened. He said he was going to write her scripts. He had script writers, all that shit. And she just didn't want to do it because her humor is just not talking much. Like he said, that works on a podcast. You want to do an actual show, though, you're going to have to do, I don't know, work. God damn, girl.
Respect. You know what I'm saying? There's not nothing about me getting mad. I'm not saying you're doing nothing wrong. I can't, but I just don't agree with it. I can feel like I don't agree with it.
While Marco acknowledged that there was nothing wrong with having a different comedy routine, he recognized that they were incompatible and chose to terminate the tour instead of giving fans a lower quality experience.
I just want y'all to know the Bobbi tour, on my decision, I didn't want to be a part of it because I wanted it to be a full production show. And I want anybody to pay $1, $2, $5, $10, $100 to really be satisfied. And I understand you're not going to satisfy everybody, but majority of people matters. You know, and I don't do anything for money. I stand on that. Like,
Marco was trying to paint a clear picture of why the tour didn't work and why cancelling it was best for everyone, but Bobbi wouldn't see things that way. Instead, Bobbi saw this friendly criticism as a personal attack and responded in a very aggressive fashion.
So here's my version of what happened. Last year, we were...
This is some ballsy ass shit. I'm gonna give her that. I couldn't. Is this like... Is there nothing here? Like she could just fall over? Or is there like glass that I just can't see? This shit crazy. Fuck that. I couldn't make a response video that way. If I was standing on this shit, bro, if I was standing right there, I'd be like, basically, fuck! Get me the fuck off this I'd be freaking the fuck out. Especially at my management team, because obviously someone's recording. But get me the fuck off this ledge. Whose idea was it to do that? I'm not doing this shit. Get me inside. I can react inside. I can give a reaction inside. Get me inside. Fuck that.
Supposed to go on tour, and I backed out last minute because my husband had just left me. I just had surgery, and I was super nervous going into this because I was not prepared. And I texted Marco, and I said, Marco, I'm so sorry to do this, but I'm so depressed right now. I literally want to myself. He doesn't reply to me, and then he unfollows me. I woke up from surgery actually to him unfollowing me. And not only that, in the coming weeks, he would go on multiple podcasts and talk about how much he didn't fuck with my style of humor.
For context, the surgery Bobbi was referring to was cosmetic in nature and wasn't as serious as she made it out to be.
Kind of up my face. So I went in to get my zit injected and I left with a Botox in my forehead, which, you know, that's fine, that's normal. I had lines here, they're gone.
I don't understand this. Like, if you are a woman in my audience, the 6.5% that watches my videos, we're very male centric around here because we're better. Like, I'm just kidding. I don't want to scare off the 6.5% I got in here. Why the Botox? Why the surgery when she already looked fine? I'm not saying she was super fucking amazingly attractive, but the Botox didn't change shit. At least I'm not seeing it. I can see that she definitely got some work done, but if anything, I don't think it made it better. I'm not gonna say worse necessarily, but why? So maybe when you're like 50, you look 40, and when you're 60, you look 50. I don't understand the surgeries. And at some point, you get to like an age, I think it is like 60. You get to like an age where the shit starts reverting on itself and looks worse. It makes you look worse. So I never understood this type of surgery. It makes you look like a little younger if it's good. I don't even think this helps her that much. It makes you look a little younger. And then when you get older, it makes you look terrible. Like, I will never understand those like Botox and surgery like this. If anyone in the comments can understand it, can let me know, please let me know. But I don't get this. Oh, I got Botox. Why? I don't get it.
Here's where I really up. I got under eye filler, so that's why it looks like I have.
Especially when you're fine. She's not ugly. She's not. So I don't get it.
2 black eyes. Can't smile still.
Returning to her angry response video, Bobbi would try to demonize Marco and make herself look like a victim by claiming that he was forcing her to perform on stage.
During this tour, I'm trying my best. Every time I'm telling him, like, Marco, he's like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I'm like, Marco, I'm trying my best, but like, it's hard for me to get out of my comfort zone of like, I have social anxiety, like debilitating social anxiety. That's why this whole thing of me, it's not fully a character. I actually am socially awkward.
I don't get this. Why do people cry when they get big? But your whole point, why did you post videos in the first place? Listen, I like this. This is fun. And I do see it as a hobby right now because obviously I'm not blowing up. But I hope to blow up. That's the whole plan, right? It would be insane for me to gather a large audience of you guys and then turn around and be like, I wasn't even expecting this. I have social anxiety. I understand there's a difference between being behind a camera and being in front of a crowd. I'm not stupid. I get it. I'm the type of person where it's like I can talk to all of y'all in person the same way I talk behind a camera, but that's just me. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's the same thing, though. Social anxiety is a real thing. I'm not going to take that away from people, okay? Some people can talk behind a camera. Shit's easy. Some people, when it comes to in person, it's not. Like my wife, I made content with her. I'm going to make more content with her. I'm going to make more vlogs with her. You're going to see more of her. Don't worry. That wasn't a one-off. You're going to see more of her in my content. But she could never, ever, like, meet you guys in person and do, like, talk like she does with me in front of y'all. That's just not her. She doesn't like talking to people, which is fair. But if you're getting into... But, again... She's not trying to be a content creator. She'll join me in some of my streams. She'll join me in some of my content. She'll join me every now and again in a vlog. But she's not trying to be a content creator. I am. Just like you're trying to be a content creator, but now you're saying you have social anxiety, so you can't do this? You just can't? I was like, then why? Then why are you trying to blow up? If you're never, like, expecting to do social interactions with the fans to help you get there. I don't get it.
I'm socially awkward. It's embarrassing. I don't want to be, so I lean into it. And I am doing my best on this stage. Our last show, I try my best to get out of my comfort zone. I drink a little, and I thought it went so well. I was like, Marco, I did everything you said. And, like, I actually felt really good about it. I felt like I really got out of my comfort zone. I really felt good about it. And he's like, yeah, you killed it. It was great. Fast forward a couple more weeks, and I hear from my team that he canceled it, and I'm like, what the hell? Marco canceled the show, like, why? They're like, I don't know. So I'm like calling him, doesn't answer me. I'm like, okay.
I'm confused on what's happening here. Obviously she's using a mic because she's far away from the camera, but is her mic her phone? The fuck?
Hey, congratulations on the baby. Doesn't answer me. He just won't answer me, but then he's tagging me in post of Taylor Swift dancing and being like, that's Bobbi. And I'm like, okay, at least we're still cool. Fast forward to today, and I get tagged in a video of Marco standing by a pool talking to everybody about why he canceled the tour.
You'd think with Bobbi's reaction to the demands of the comedy tour that she'd never want anything to do with them, but it was the exact opposite.
With all of that said, I'm gonna go on my own tour since you don't want to go on tour with me anymore, and it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be great.
To viewers, Bobbi's video came off as a pity act of revenge against someone who wanted nothing but the best for her career. Unfortunately, Bobbi wasn't willing to accept anything but praise for her work, and anyone who dared to criticize her was deemed a hater.
But really the bigger issue is that you people seem to not care about your digital footprint. Like, I just don't understand, because I don't know a single successful person or normal person who leaves hater comments under anything. Do you wanna know what?
I do. I do. I don't care how much I blow up. I don't care. That's right. I got hater comments. That's right. Especially if you're an old head, hates on LeBron. I got the man on my wall. I got the man on my wall. You pay respect to the king. You understand? That's right. I'm the king's servant. All right? I'm out there. I'm out there fighting his battles so he doesn't have to. So that's right. I be leaving hater comments. Don't mess with me.
What regular normal people do, they talk about people they see on the internet to each other, not under their comment section. Like, send my video in your group message. Be like, ew, how is she still relevant in your group message?
From fans to former collaborators, Bobbi was at odds with everyone who gave her a platform. And because of it, her engagement outside the drama was slowly sliding towards irrelevancy.
But notice, this is what I said before. Funny Marco, in a way, felt the same way she did. But Funny Marco responded as a person who wants to be in the industry and work with more people. She responded in a way, quote unquote, normally. You guys get what I'm saying? Like, she responded how someone normally would respond. Let's just say that everything she's saying is correct. She's not lying. Everything she's saying is true. Because keep in mind, there's two sides to every story, right? So everything she's saying is correct. Let's assume that. If that is the case, she's responding the way anyone would react if they were upset. Hell, even me. But the difference is, even I know that my reaction may not be the best reaction. So I'm not going to record my first reaction. I'm going to calm down, gather my thoughts, and record a good, mature reaction that's not going to kill off any opportunities with other people I may have. That's what you got to understand when you're getting into the content sphere. If you want to work with other people, you're going to have to bite your tongue at times and be mature when it comes to some things. Maybe he just had creative differences with you, like he said, or maybe he was like a dickhead to you, whatever the case may be. You respond maturely, because at the end of the day, we don't have proof for either of your sides. We just are taking your guys' sides. People are going to side with him more, though, because he's coming off like, hey, I hope your career goes good. I hope everything goes good with you. We just had creative differences, and that's why it's not working with us. And you responded with, fuck you, fuck that, suck my dick, I'm going to make something big, and you're not even going to be part of it. That's right, baby. Okay, well, you're going to cut off opportunities for yourself.
To remedy the situation, Bobbi went on a media tour through interviews with Wired and Forbes. However, this would only make Bobbi seem more out of touch and unlikable, as she only focused on making as much money as possible.
So it's like every day I was still posting 10 videos a day, even when I had my 3 million followers, and some of those videos would completely flop and get like 50,000 views, and I was just constantly having to think, and I was like the only...
Man. Imagine saying 50,000 views is a flop. Listen, I'll take those. I'll take those. When I wake up after I post a video, I look at the next day and I look at my views. If I hit like 100, I'm like, man, I'm popping. A flop to me is like, damn, only 12 views? That's a flop. But 100, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm booming. This goes like 50,000, that's nothing, you know, that's trash, that's flop. Damn. Girl, give me your followers.
The only thing that is so successful every time is collabs. And then I saw this video of a girl talking about how much she made from her podcast, and I think I mentally decided that she made like at least 300 a year on her podcast alone, and I was like, that's what I need to do next. Like, I need a podcast. So I started it was first called So You're Rich. And
Was
I was
it?
Yeah. And I was interviewing rich people.
Money, a recurring theme.
I didn't grow up with money. I am on a lifelong
You want
journey to
money.
get money. I love...
While doing as little work as possible.
I don't have any talents.
You have talents.
That's going to be clipped, and people are going to be like, yeah.
No, you have talents. What you have an interview talent, and you said, what is your? Do you have any journalistic background?
No, just a community college journalism class.
And you, what is your interviewing technique?
Just no research, show up.
One of the recent examples.
This is what I'm talking about. That's not being an interviewer. This is gonna sound shocking, guys, but if you want to be a good interviewer, maybe you should have a somewhat of a decent knowledge of the people that you're going to talk about. But that's just my hot take.
Of Bobbi's apathy and lack of care for her career was the first and possibly last episode of her vlog series.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Bobbi. I've been told that I can dance really well. Yeah. You want to try to do the dance with me? You don't want to do it with me?
Naturally, fans weren't amused, expressing their discontent with the video through thousands of dislikes and numerous critical comments, with one stating, "This is like the quote, 'I don't care about the editing, I'm about to quit anyway' vid." While Bobbi is still active on her social media platforms, she hasn't posted any news on her main channel since December 2024, and the last time she was relevant was when fans laughed at her messy breakups.
Just like hard to imagine finding someone who is like truly good for you. It's hard to imagine there's a world where there's like someone who's
Whether Bobbi realized it or not, the things that made her career what it is today were slowly slipping away. Her comedic style has worn out, her celebrity connections are dwindling, and her public perception is at an all-time low. Each one of these factors could cause a significant decline in any creator's career, but having all three is nothing short of a recipe for disaster. While it's too early to judge the future of Bobbi's career, it's important to remember that though she had achieved her dream career in a relatively short time, she could lose it just as fast if she's not careful.
Man. Well, that was a good video, guys. That was a good video. I said everything I need to say about Bobbi Althoff in the video. She gets 3 big, not the big booms, because she be making me sad, lose brain cells. She gets 3 sad hordes. 3 sad hordes. That's what she gets. But okay. That was fun. I like that. Anyway, until next time, my friends. I love you. Thank you for coming to my content. You got anything you want me to react to? Please, please, please. Send it in the comment section. Pay attention to my community post. I let my subscribers know when I go live there. I usually go live as well. I'll have a gaming live. Sometimes I'll have react lives. I'll talk about basketball. I'll talk about drama. Whatever the case may be. And please like, comment, and subscribe. Other than that, I love everybody that watched this. I love everybody who subscribed. Until next time. See ya. Deuces. Goodbye.